com.
Let's get things over to First Alert Chief Meteorologist Dave Aguilera. Dave, it is a First Alert weather day because of that fire danger we've been talking about.
Certainly is, and the heat is the primary driving factor for the fire danger today. So let me tell you what we wound up with our high temperatures today. 96 at the airport, but we made it to 100 in Fort Collins, Fort Morgan, Greeley at 98, 108 in Lamar today, and western Colorado. A lot of 90s from Grand Junction all the way up to Craig, and that's the area where the fire danger is the worst. We'll show you the drought monitor in a second. You're not going to believe what has happened this week to that area. And across the metro area, we've got a few dry, gusty thunderstorms that have popped up over the area. Not much rain from this, but we are seeing some very good wind gusts going on. So let's bring up the radar, and I'll show you exactly what we're looking at as far as that is concerned here. Most of our thunderstorms this afternoon are over eastern Colorado, but in general, look at this big shield of cloud cover coming into the state here. That's all monsoon flow that has returned. Not really deep yet, so we're not seeing a lot of rain. So although we want that to come in, we don't want these high base gusty thunderstorms that are creating all the wind out there, but that's what's happening here. Here's a look at the bigger storms up around Fort Morgan into Sterling. Might have a little small hail and up to 50-mile-per-hour winds with that. We had a severe storm south of Lyman that has fallen apart, which is good news there. They did have briefly a little small hail down there in Lincoln County, and we do have one severe thunderstorm warning. At the top end of this line goes from La Junta over into Sugar City and north of Ordway here. 1-inch diameter hail possible with that storm all the way through 645. So that's posted. All right, here's the drought monitor. Every Thursday it comes out. All of western Colorado, as we know, has had a problem with drought ever since the middle of winter when they didn't get much snow in the mountains or over the eastern or the western slope out there. But look at this area of red right in here. Embedded in that burgundy area here, that is exceptional drought, the worst it can get out there, and that's where most of the bigger fires of our state are coming together. Also new this week, we've got a line of moderate drought that extends into Denver, up to DIA, Aurora, north of Castle Pines, and back into Evergreen and Conifer. So our drought is getting worse in the Denver metro area as well. That's kind of why along our Front Range foothills, all the way back into the mountains and the western slope, we have that red flag warning going on as it inched closer to Denver today. And that goes through 10 p.m. tonight, primarily because these gusty winds that we got with the thunderstorms as we go into the evening tonight could still go up to 40-mile-per-hour. The biggest storms that we're dealing with tonight will be out over eastern Colorado. Then tomorrow, take a look. We get a little sun in the morning, but look at the moisture that's moving in from Utah and Arizona here. Scattered storms in the mountains and a few out over the eastern plains. And again, not much rain from these, but what it will do, the clouds will lower the temperatures. Humidity levels will go up a little bit. It will create gusty winds, which we don't want, but it'll be a little bit of relief for some of the fire situations going on out in the western slope. And by cooler temperatures, we're talking 80s. They've been locked in the 80s for almost, or locked in the 90s, I should say, almost all summer. So a little cooler there. 70s and 80s in the mountains. And unfortunately, I think we're going to be hot again in the 90s and 100s here across the eastern plains, but we may cut the heat by a degree or two tomorrow with 96 degrees for the high, 30% chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Same thing on Saturday with 92, scattered storms late, and then drier Sunday into Monday, only isolated storms, low 90s, and those 90s look to be rocking and rolling all the way through next weekend.